IG influencer, beautiful, bombshell looking person needs to thank Montano for making the blueprint. What up guys, it's Steph and today we are throwing it back. I'm gonna dive into my teenage memories to try and find an answer to a question I've had for a while. Are today's teens stupid or are we just old? In order for me to come close to an answer for this, I really had to delve down memory lane. I was born in '97, so whether you categorize me as millennial or Gen Z is up to you. All I know is I'm nothing like them kids. I do still have a, hey, get off my lawn mentality when it comes to today's teeny boppers and what they're into. And I don't try to relate to them, nor do I try to age myself too much. I'm just me. I'm just my pocket of experiences. If you grew up in my era, if you were on the internet during this time, if you was really outside, but when I say outside, I mean inside, you might recognize the people that I'm about to discuss because we are going to be giving the old school influencers their flowers, we are going to be connecting the trends, and we're going to see how this relates to the new age kids. Before we get into this, I just gotta say, make sure that you are subscribed and check out my socials down below if you ever want to get in touch with me. I'd be answering. People don't really be hitting me up, but you could be the first or the second or the third. I answer. I want to get into the influencers that shaped me as a young, impressionable teen in the early 2010s. And I just gotta say, Super Mac 18 needs his flowers. He needs all the things because he birthed a lot of you guys. You could not go on the internet without seeing Super Mac 18. Like, this kid was doing things. He had millions of views. He had such a big fan following, mostly girls, because he was like that boyish 09 Bieber type cute. And he was killing the merch game. Who was killing the merch game at that level, at that capacity? I remember seeing people with his merch, and I'm from Nova Scotia. Who the heck would have Super Mac merch? He was probably one of the most popular or the most popular YouTuber at his age at that time because he was poppin' at a time where old school actual golden era YouTuber people were poppin'. Do you know what I mean? The other notable thing that Super Mac 18 did was establish a collab channel. Most of the remnants of this collab channel have been erased because I'm pretty sure it went south, there was some beef between him and Gen X Pen, and then everything's just wiped from the internet. The collab channel was called My Collab, and they would take turns doing a video every day of the week, and then they would have a surprise for Friday, Saturday. That was a predecessor of a lot of groups who got big. This kid was like the it boy. He disappeared, but he was literally out there. He's a pioneer. He needs his flowers. The next person that I want to talk about is Acacia Brinley Clark. Whether you're just meeting her now as a mommy Instagram pastel type feed, or if you knew her around the O2L YouTube era when she was dating a bunch of YouTube boys or rock guys, or if you remember her during Brandy Melville's height, I guess, in popularity, Acacia was the OG Tumblr girl of that time. This girl was everywhere. And I'm looking at some of those old photos of her that would usually like blow up on Tumblr, and I'm just like, how is that the pinnacle of beauty at some point? I do not know. And I don't know. Anyway, she was a Tumblr girl who has basically been on the internet ever since, and everyone was trying to look like this girl. Like, you either loved or wanted to be her, or you absolutely hated her for the access that she had to all the other influencer dudes. If you see her now, just know that she was that girl back then. Acacia's my age, so I got introduced to her when I joined Tumblr when I was around 13, 14-ish, and you could not scroll anywhere without seeing this girl everywhere. Like, if you Google her right now and you see her face, you know you've seen her face.
No, thank you, Acacia. I hope I look just like you.
Acacia was causing a stir. She was causing a stir. And it reminds me so much of a lot of these, like, new it girls that everybody, like, randomly hates for no reason or, like, wants to be them because they get all, like, the cute teen boys or whatever. The next pioneer I gotta acknowledge is Andrea Russet. Now, this girl is still very much on socials, so I don't even have to explain to you who she is. Consistently, she has also been the blueprint for like internet beauty and like, oh. She got in a relationship with Kiandrea at the time, and that kind of made the whole like couples goals era. I'm not trying to discredit her because she has had a following in her own right, but her getting with Kiandrea and Kiandrea getting with her really just advanced both of their careers in a big way, just because, I mean, they were dating and their fans loved seeing them together, so people actually started standing that relationship specifically and like making a bunch of edits of them, which looking back is so weird because it's just like, what, a couple 15, 16, 17-year-olds like in love. Like, I mean, Andrea needs the flowers. She got a couple of viral type posts. If you ever saw this was Andrea. You're welcome. I mean, thank you, Andrea, for your contributions. I want to do a sidebar and discuss Misfits rep for a little bit. Now, Misfits is Jaden Smith's brand. Back in the day, it was still Jaden's brand, but his friend group was very much a part of that. And if you were following their moves like online, this was like when Instagram was like really just getting big, but also they had a presence on Tumblr too. Misfits rep was kind of like the it girl, it boy, teen Hollywood friend group that everybody was kind of looking at. Back in the day, Misfits rep was Jaden Smith, Willow Smith, Jordan Woods, Kylie Jenner, Stoss, Tilana, Pia Mia, Moises, Mateo, and there were like some others, but these guys were just always photographing themselves or getting photographed. Stella Hudgens was also in that, so it was very much like a group of people who were like actually famous, so that gave them access. They weren't like actual like content creators. And I just remember at that time when I was around 14, 15, just like being so enamored, but because I was like, wow, like they look so cool, oh my gosh, like, oh, they're wearing like cutoff shorts, like I want shorts like these. I almost bought a Misfits rep sweater, and I kind of wish I did, like, because like that's still bumping, that's still hip. Speaking of crews, we gotta give flowers to this next one who's still very much out here, Savannah Montano. Sav Montano birthed a lot of you girls. Any IG influencer, beautiful, bombshell looking person needs to thank Sav Montano for making the blueprint. And I'm saying that with 100% confidence. You can't question me on this. I know this for a fact. Sav Montano, not only still looking hot as hell, she got the bulk of her following from Tumblr because she had a Tumblr blog called May 13th. Her and her friends kind of looked like the cool group, and they were mostly just posting photos of each other. What also propelled Sav Montano to ultimate fame, I believe, was her relationships. The minute I got on Tumblr, the first thing I saw was Javannah content. What is Javannah content? Jared and Savannah. Savannah's then boyfriend at the time. They were out here making couple videos, photo booth, montages. Everybody kind of looked at them as goals. They had one video to the song I'll Be Your Man by Train. Is this the song? No. Oh yeah. Is it? I'll be your man. I'll be your man. Train? Or Maroon 5? James Blunt. James Blunt sings I'll Be Your Man. Okay, they had this whole video montage of just her and her boyfriend kissing, doing coupley shit. They were just like being couple goals. And that would always go viral because people were like, oh my gosh, I wish I could only dream of having a relationship like Jared and Savannah. This is true love, like at 13. At 13, more people got introduced to Savannah when it was Jay and Savannah, which is also another coupley, profitable type union. I'm not saying that her relationships were fake, I'm saying that they heavily propelled her to who she is. Sav Montano on her own probably would have made it, but it's the aura and coolness of the relationships that she had that really like boosted her. It's like, whoa, like it's Sav Montano, like bad bitches or die, like that's the crew. I look at like these squads of just like only pretty young people, and I'm just like, Sav Montano birthed you guys. You don't even, like, essentially Sav Montano walked so that the TikTok stars and the IG girls of today could fly. Now let's discuss the content of that time. A pure mess. The cringe factor that I got going down memory lane was insanity. Looking at these videos almost 10 years later, I was like, why was I ever like into this? A lot of people get in that moment when they're no longer a teenager and they're like, alright, so what the heck did I watch? There was O2L killing the game. So that crew plus their affiliates. One video in particular that I remember loving at the time, which is also one of Gen X Pen's top videos, is Things girls do, what the hell was this called? Things guys do that girls hate. With that chipper daytime music and relatable scenarios. I feel like this video did well because everybody was trying to ship Gen X Pen and JC at the time. Like any video that included a guy and a girl from like that group, everybody was like in the comments like, oh my gosh, like you guys look so cute, you should date. I don't think they had any chemistry at all. I don't even think they dated. Big ensembles of people like O2L's group and flirty couples where you're just like, do they date, don't they date? Were really picking up steam. Then there was the infamous What Guys Look For in Girls video that included Nash Greer, Cameron Dallas, and JC Kalen essentially embarrassing the hell out of themselves with their preferences for their ideal girls. Most notably when Nash said that he wanted girls to shave, and I think JC or Cameron said that they didn't like girls who wore red lipstick. Everybody was like, oh my god, like these ignorant boys, like they don't know anything, blah, 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 blah. And it just reminds me so much of how new age influencers get into some mess by simply saying ignorant teenager stuff. Shout out to Nash, he got himself a baddie, a black woman at that. Who would have thought? I want to discuss this as quick as possible. MagCon was an era that used to have me so angry. I'd be going on Twitter, going off. Do you got a babe or not? When you're only known for your looks and you don't actually have much to back it up, shouts out Shawn Mendes, who actually had talent, along with like a couple others, you're bound to get in some mess. I'm looking at you, Taylor Kniff. What do you want in a girl?
What do I look for in girls? Big boobs, a nice vagina, nice hair.
Okay. There was also Rebecca Black and Friday. She wasn't a YouTuber prior to that video, then became one afterwards, and now she's chillin'. I don't know, like she's pretty cute actually. There were a lot of copycats that tried to take that same magic of like, let me be so awful and then apologize for being awful and then leverage those views to like be a YouTuber. Not many succeeded like Rebecca Black did because she was also the blueprint. Now let's get into some early 2010s trends. Say that 10 times fast. If you drank Arizona iced tea, you were that girl. If you wore Brandy Melville, you were that girl. Even though the clothing was not conductive for colder climates and it was also one size fits all, so it wasn't even accessible, you were still that girl. Writing inspirational quotes on signs or on your body, you were that girl. Purchasing an expensive DSLR camera to take photos of your basic fashion items. I'm talking nail polish, belt buckles, Hollister jeans. You were that girl. Doing stupid challenges that could land you in the hospital or dead, like the cinnamon challenge or salt and ice. You were that girl, and you were probably gonna get some good views. It's so funny to me when I saw people my age complaining that kids were eating Tide Pods, because I was like, I remember your Facebook video. A lot of people like to do revisionist history and pretend that they weren't that dumb. Don't worry, you were. So, my parting words on all this. Is Gen Z stupid, or are you just old? My answer is, you're just old. There's so many elements present today in the Addison Rays of the world or the Charli D'Amelios. We heavily judge a lot of the stuff that we see Gen Z do online. We call them stupid. We say, oh my god, they make anybody famous these days. We think that humanity is going backwards based on these famous young rich teens. And I'm just here to remind you guys that even back then, stuff wasn't different. Everything just gets repackaged and made anew, but the elements are still the same. Shouts out to the pioneers. In regards to things being so much better back then, I think it's heavily because when you're a teenager, you're the target demographic. When you're catered to, everything's awesome. So obviously things aren't gonna seem like they're good now. As far as it goes for like teeny bopper stuff, like, duh, you're not gonna like it. It's not for you. It's for the kids. My last parting word, because you know I gotta put it in there, it's the lack of diversity for me. Why were we idolizing all these white folks? I'm just saying. I'm just leaving it at that, but I'm just saying. And we need to do better. Where the dark skins at? Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you like this video and you like me, then hit that like button. And if you want to see more of me, then you can always subscribe. And my links will be down below. And I'm gonna go now. Peace. If you remember any of these legends or any of these iconic moments in like young teenager YouTube, please comment down below. Like, we need to go into this.